Well, hello, and welcome to my YouTube channel. Today, I'm asking you the question, can you be friends with a narcissist? What do you think? Comment in the comment section and let me know if you think you've ever been friends with a narcissist. Was it successful or unsuccessful? Did you learn any tips that you can share about how to get along with them? So, my answer to this question is yes, absolutely, you can be friends with a narcissist. In fact, you may be friends with a narcissist. Can it be a little tricky? Yes, but the truth is, you can be friends with a narcissist. It can definitely happen, and it can happen quite easily, I think. But there are some things that I think you need to know in order to make the friendship successful or manageable. For one thing, you have to kind of accept them for who they are. So they're probably going to be more blunt. There may be times when you don't understand what they're talking about at all. And that's not for all narcissists, but there are some that speak a different language. But they also think that everyone else is speaking a different language, but it's them. So you may not be on the same wavelength with them on some of their thought process. It may not make sense, but you just be a good listener and let them get it out. So they may have difficulty really trusting someone. So you kind of have to break through some barriers possibly, and sometimes not. But I find that friendships with them sometimes are better one-on-one or in small groups. They tend to get a little, they may feel a little jealous about you being friends with other people, or they may feel like they want to push other people away from you a little bit. So if they're around other people that they feel threatened by or they want out of the way, they might insult you in front of that person. But once you get their trust, that could be a game changer because they can be nice to you once and treat you differently than they might treat other people because they feel like you guys are connected, you have a certain amount of respect for each other. So you can be friends with them. They can be extremely nice to you if, like I said, you have built a connection with them, you have built trust with them. They can treat you differently than they treat other people. Now, you might look at that and say, well, that's really not fair. Look at how badly they're treating other people, because you're probably going to see that, or you'll hear about them getting into arguments or having difficulty with other people, but they tend to have a different rule for friends that they really like a lot and really respect. So the other thing that I would say is go for harmony. When people think of narcissists, they think of mean, cruel, disrespectful, rude, difficult to get along with, just awful people that everyone just wants to stay away from. People don't look at them very kindly. But the reason I say go for harmony is because that could solve a lot of issues. You think that the best way to deal with a narcissist is to fight with them or to stand up for yourself or to argue with them. Well, if you're doing all of that, then you're not friends. That does not constitute a friendship. So you're going to go for harmony and you're going to try to get along with them. You're going to be respectful. You're going to be kind and they're going to give you that kindness back. So they're going to really look up to you and admire you and think, wow, she really does have a pleasant personality. And I kind of don't, because deep inside they know. And once they lower their defenses, they'll let you know that they feel like their personalities are kind of ugly in some ways. But you have to build that trust. A couple of tricky areas are if they see you as weak or they think that you are not intelligent, that could be a trigger for them. And I know that's not fair And that sounds crazy, but they will run circles around you, insult you, put you down. That just is a huge trigger for them. They may judge you inadequately or incorrectly. You want to protect yourself from narcissists, but if you can get past some barriers, you can show them that you are intelligent. I know that's annoying to hear, or that you have confidence in who you are. Then you can start to break some barriers and you can see who they really are. And I think they are known for being very grandiose and very above everyone else. And I'm better than you, and braggadocious, and I'm so amazing. But they're actually very insecure in many, many ways. And they'll start to open up and reveal that to you once they see that you are a safe place for them to do so. They do need someone to lean on sometimes, even though some of them can go into user mode, using people to elevate themselves. I don't like that, but sometimes they need some support also, because the narcissists, they don't like weakness. So some of them are going to depend solely on themselves because they don't trust anybody else to do the job. Some of them, they like it when there's someone there that can say, hey, you know what? We're in this together. We can do this together. Now, that doesn't mean that jealousy and envy won't creep into play at times, or you won't see, they won't get triggered, or that they're going to just be the perfect friend, because that's probably not going to happen. You have to remember they do have a personality disorder. So sometimes you have to look above the ugliness or the moodiness, or they've been triggered, and just kind of listen and let them work past it. A lot of them they struggle with looking internally. So they're not very good at looking at what they're doing wrong, which is a very strong defense mechanism. They had to protect themselves from probably a ton of criticism, for example, or if they were spoiled rotten with no boundaries, or kind of had a mixture of both. One narcissist told me I was not taught kindness as a child. And so to expect them to be nice to you or understand that, or they can be nice to you, but they struggle with kindness. Now, what's interesting is once you build trust and they really, really like you, they can show you some compassion, and they can show you some support and be nice to you and say nice things like, you're going to get through it, it's going to be okay. Or if you say, I don't feel well, they can empathize with you and show you some caring. They really can. But if they disdain you, if they think you are a mess and your life is just all over the place, they're going to hate you. So it's about building trust. Now, you might say, why in the world would you choose a narcissist for a friend? There are some people that maybe grew up with parents that had narcissistic tendencies, or that were narcissistic, and they're attracted to that type of person. Most people kind of look like a deer in headlights in front of narcissists, like, I'm trying to get away from you as fast as I can. You might think arguing with a narcissist is the way to go, but that makes things worse because they're going to come after you more. Even if they're scared of you, they're still going to attack you. It just turns into a nasty cycle. So you want to avoid confrontation if you can. Now, that said, sometimes you do have to confront them. And they are very sensitive to criticism and nuances because they had to survive as children. So even though they don't empathize most of the times or very well, they can pick up on cues, and they have some abandonment fears also. Sometimes you do have to stand up for yourself and let them know. I would say start with indirectly, because you don't want to trigger them. First of all, They're going to think you're a monster, you're a meanie, you're so terrible. They're going to destroy your name to everybody. So now you're going to have to work through all of that. So you might try first confronting them indirectly. So you wouldn't say, you know what, you've been talking down to me every day, you're rude. They're not going to know what you're talking about. As strange as that is, they are not going to understand what you're talking about, and it's going to start a problem. So you want to say something like, for example, I had a situation with someone and they were very disrespectful. And even though I'm a nice person, I'm not one to play with. And I can be confrontational when people disrespect me. I don't like it. So, without attacking them personally, give them an out and give yourself a little bit of an out, but you're letting them know you better watch out. Because a lot of narcissists don't like confrontation either, which is strange because all they do is confront and have confrontations. But if you actually talk to them about it, they're kind of terrified of it. They may say, I don't know how to act with confrontation. You just have to figure out ways to deal with them. So why in the world would anyone choose a narcissist for a friend? I think a lot of times it happens by chance. So you might end up having to work with someone who's a narcissist, so you're around them constantly, so you can't just totally avoid them. So you have to make it work. And before you know it, you're becoming friends with them. If they like you, it just happens. Or you might be in school and you're working on a project together. You're having to interact a lot. And then when you're in it, you have to kind of figure out, okay, how am I going to make this work? But like I said, you can actually start to have fun with them. They can be fantastic conversationalists because they're very knowledgeable about a lot of different things. So they're usually kind of easy to talk to and you can learn a lot from them. So they're because they don't want to appear dumb. So they're going to know everything about everything. But they are curious about certain aspects of life, whether it's history, whether it's education. Dale Carnegie, who wrote How to Win Friends and Influence People, one of the key things that he talks about in his book is talking in the other person's interest. So why not talk in that person's interest? You can build trust that way. Another thing you can do is be silly, be playful, be jokey. They like that. You know what I'm saying? Like they like being funny and playful and jokey, a lot of them. So try to get into that lane where you can kind of tease each other playfully and be silly and kind of relax things a little bit. They enjoy that. They also enjoy gifts, and they may tell you that they hate gifts, but it's not true. So a gift might be a bag of Doritos or a little piece of candy, or you saw this pen and you thought they'd like it, because they're not good at expressing how they feel or empathy. That just, it's not their language. So they struggle with that. They may apologize with a gift. So allow them to do that because it helps to soften things. So, if you're in the situation, I know it's challenging, but yes, you can become friends with a narcissist and they can treat you very nicely once you become their friend. So I hope this video helps someone out there. So please, please, please share it, share it, share it. Like it, like it, like it. Subscribe, subscribe, subscribe to my channel because I put a lot of energy and content into my videos because I want to help you guys. So, that's my little reward. So, thank you so much for watching, and until next time, bye.